Welcome to Healing Prayers and Bible Miracles. In this captivating video, we delve into the remarkable story of Queen Esther, who risked everything to save her people. In the grand courts of Persia, where gold-lined walls whispered of power and intrigue, a story unfolded that would forever echo in history. It is the tale of a young woman who rose from obscurity to royalty, only to risk her crown and her very life to save her people. This is the story of Esther, a queen whose courage and faith turned the tide of destiny. A new queen rises. The tale begins in the bustling city of Susa, the heart of King Xerxes' sprawling empire. Xerxes was a king of immense wealth and temperamental whims. One fateful day, during a grand banquet that lasted an outrageous 180 days, the king commanded Queen Vashti to display her beauty before his intoxicated guests. Vashti's refusal to be paraded like a trophy enraged the king. In a single stroke of anger, he deposed her, setting the stage for a search for a new queen. Amidst this backdrop of royal drama, a young Jewish woman named Hadassah lived quietly in Susa. Orphaned as a child, she had been lovingly raised by her cousin Mordecai. Though she was a simple girl, her beauty and grace were unmatched. When royal officials scoured the land for potential queens, Hadassah, now known as Esther, was taken to the palace. She entered a world of opulence, but also one fraught with danger. Mordecai warned her to conceal her Jewish identity, knowing the precarious position of their people in Persia. After months of preparation, Esther was brought before King Xerxes. Her poise and charm captivated the king, and he placed the royal crown on her head. Esther, the Jewish orphan, had become the queen of Persia. But her ascent to the throne was only the beginning of her story. Not far from the royal courts, a shadowy figure plotted the downfall of Esther's people. Haman, the king's prime minister, was a man consumed by pride and hatred. Mordecai's refusal to bow before him ignited a vengeful fury. Haman's wrath extended beyond Mordecai to the entire Jewish population of Persia. With cunning deceit, he convinced King Xerxes to issue a decree ordering the annihilation of all Jews on a single day. Mordecai's heart broke as he read the edict. Clothed in sackcloth, he wept at the city gate, a poignant display of despair that caught Esther's attention. Through a trusted messenger, Mordecai sent word to Esther, urging her to intercede with the king. But Esther faced an agonizing dilemma. To approach the king without being summoned was punishable by death. Only if the king extended his golden scepter could she speak without fear. "Do not think that because you are in the king's house you alone will escape." Mordecai's words echoed in Esther's mind. "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" These words stirred something deep within her. Esther realized her position was no accident. She had been placed on the throne for a purpose greater than herself. Determined but trembling, Esther sent a reply to Mordecai. "Gather all the Jews in Susa. Fast for me for 3 days. I and my attendants will do the same. Then I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish." For 3 days, Esther fasted and prayed, seeking divine strength. On the 3rd day, she donned her royal robes and entered the inner court of the palace. Time seemed to freeze as she stood before the throne, the king's expression unreadable. Then, to her immense relief, Xerxes extended his golden scepter. "What is it, Queen Esther?" he asked. "Even up to half the kingdom it will be given to you." But Esther did not rush her request. Instead, she invited the king and Haman to a banquet she had prepared. At the banquet, she invited them to yet another feast, skillfully biding her time. The tables turn. Haman left the first banquet elated, his ego inflated by the exclusive invitation. But his joy turned to rage when he saw Mordecai at the gate, still refusing to bow. That night, Haman constructed a massive gallows, intending to hang Mordecai the next day. Meanwhile, the king experienced a restless night. Seeking distraction, he ordered the royal chronicles to be read to him. In an astonishing twist, the account detailed how Mordecai had once uncovered a plot to assassinate the king. Xerxes realized that Mordecai had never been rewarded for his loyalty. The next morning, Haman entered the court to request Mordecai's execution. But before he could speak, Xerxes asked, "What should be done for the man the king delights to honor?" Mistakenly believing the king meant to honor him, Haman suggested an elaborate parade with royal robes and a horse. To his horror, Xerxes commanded, "Go at once. Do this for Mordecai the Jew." Haman was forced to lead Mordecai through the streets, proclaiming, "This is what is done for the man the king delights to honor." Humiliated, he returned home, only to be summoned to Esther's second banquet. At the banquet, the king again asked Esther for her request. With a trembling voice, she revealed the truth. "If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life and spare my people. For I and my people have been sold to be destroyed, killed, and annihilated." The king's face darkened. "Who is he? Where is the man who has dared to do such a thing?" Esther pointed to Haman. "The adversary and enemy is this vile Haman." Pale with fear, Haman pleaded for his life, but Xerxes, filled with rage, left the room. When he returned, he found Haman falling on Esther's couch, an act the king interpreted as an assault. The final blow to Haman's fate was swift. He was hanged on the very gallows he had prepared for Mordecai. It was a victory for the Jews. With Haman's death, Esther and Mordecai worked together to save their people. By Persian law, the king's edicts could not be revoked, but a new decree was issued allowing the Jews to defend themselves. On the appointed day, the Jews triumphed over their enemies. Mordecai was elevated to a position of great power, and the Jewish people celebrated their deliverance with feasting and joy. This event became the foundation of the festival of Purim, a time to remember how courage and faith saved a nation. Esther's story is one of remarkable bravery, faith, and divine providence. She risked her life to save her people, embodying the truth that one person's courage can change the course of history. Her journey from an orphaned girl to a queen who altered the destiny of her people is a testament to the power of purpose and the belief that we are placed where we are for reasons far greater than we may understand. Remember to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.